What's up, guys? Theo here. Going to be doing a early prediction for UFC 294 main event, Makhachev versus Volkanovski 2. Man, this is going to be a great fight. The first one of these that they did was like one of the best fights I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm all about super fights, man, and I love when you can get the champs fighting other champs. That's when the UFC is the absolute best, in my opinion. So really looking forward to this. Also, these are two fighters I really like, Volkanovski and Islam. Both of them are amazing in their own right. And it was a close fight the first time around, man. A lot of people were thinking that Volkanovski won that fight. You know, I had a bet on Islam. I had him in a parlay that did cash. And when I watched the fight, I watched it with no sound at all. And my genuine opinion was that Islam had won that fight. I think the judges got the decision correct. I do think Volkanovski won a few rounds. And probably actually did more damage, which I think is why people were surprised that he didn't win. But ultimately, Islam was able to neutralize most of his offense. And he just didn't put Islam in enough danger in order to, in the judges' eyes, overcome the control and the good boxing of Islam Makhachev. So it was a very close fight, but I do think, in my opinion, that Islam won fair and square. So what do I think is going to happen this time? Well, to be honest with you, my money is probably going to be on Volkanovski this time. I'm not going to make a huge bet on Volkanovski or anything. 0.25 units, maybe 0.5 units. If I feel really ballsy day of the fight, hell, maybe I'll throw 1 unit on it. But in reality here, man, you know, Volkanovski has a lot of things going against him in this fight. 10-day notice, enemy territory, bigger guy, fighting a dude that already has a win over him, knows his style, hasn't a full camp. There's a lot of disadvantages here for Volkanovski, but, you know, Volkanovski did make that a very close fight. He has an insane offense, and he's just got a dog in him that can't be conquered. And, you know, you listen to Islam and Khabib talk about Volkanovski, and they know, and they would not say this about just anyone. Volkanovski is going to fight the whole time. He's not going to break. He's not going to give up. He's going to be trying to finish the fight the entire time. He's already said it in interviews. His goal here is to finish this fight. He knows he probably has to. Volkanovski is a very smart fighter. He knows that he can't let this go to decision again and get robbed. So, in my opinion, I think Volk is coming in with nothing really to lose here. If he loses this fight, who really cares, man? He's fighting the best guy that's 10 pounds heavier than him on weigh-in day. So, you know, kudos to Volk if he can show up and make it competitive again, man. He's got to fight a perfect fight twice here. The odds are definitely stacked against him, but in my opinion, Volkanovski is a great dog. I don't really know what the line is yet. I haven't seen it. I assume he's going to be a fairly priced underdog. And yeah, we're going to take a 0.25, maybe a 0.5 unit bet on him, because there's really no fighter more dangerous to a dominant guy like Islam than somebody who has already fought him once. And Volkanovski has fought him once, and also happens to be possibly the pound-for-pound greatest fighter on the roster right now. So Volkanovski is an extremely dangerous opponent for Makhachev here. Probably the most dangerous opponent he has ever faced, in my opinion. So, you know, I would feel bad if I made a straight bet on Islam here and I lost a lot of money, to be honest with you. I don't like to make bets where I will feel bad after I make them. I want bets where if they hit, I will be happy. And I would feel bad if I bet on Islam and then Volk got it done. I wouldn't like that. And capping is all about value. And I think there's value on Volkanovski here as an underdog. You know, most of the giant upsets that we have seen in the UFC in the past 3 years have been fighters that had already fought the dominant fighter in the past, but were not expected to win. They were all underdogs that had a history with that fighter. Conor McGregor fighting Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier shocked as and knocked him out. Poirier had fought him before. More recently, Valentina Shevchenko and Alexa Grasso. You saw there that, the second fight went to a draw. Interesting, right? There's always room being left over for a third fight whenever these rematches come along. You think about Pantoja and Moreno. Pantoja and Moreno had fought before. They fought again, and the outcome ends up being a trilogy. We see this happening a lot. We see upsets coming from fighters that had already faced the person that they are fighting. And it just so happens that now they can make a trilogy. Wow, that's convenient. They can make a trilogy and make a lot more money. I'm not suggesting anything here. I'm not suggesting fights are rigged, but I think it's unusual that every single time we see a massive upset, it's a person they've already fought before, and it would demand a third fight. Trilogies sell very well. So, fighters have vested interests. The UFC has vested interest in things like this happening. I'm not suggesting the fix is in on Makhachev versus Volkanovski. I think they want Makhachev to have a good performance in Abu Dhabi here. But, man, I think it just could be that Volkanovski's like the most dangerous guy he's ever going to face and has come the close to beating him. And he's getting a second shot. He's going to be fresh. He doesn't have a full training camp. It's not like he's sitting on his ass eating potato chips. He's going to be in the gym. He's going to be training. He's going to be lifting weights. And, guys, Volkanovski's on the sauce. He's my favorite fighter in the world. I think he's awesome. And I particularly don't give a shit if people can get away with doing steroids in the UFC because, hell, that's the game. You play the game however you want. But he's definitely on something, man. So he's got that advantage too. He's going to show up and he's going to be dangerous as fuck. So, man, Islam could get defeated here. It is a very real possibility. Even though I think statistically he's probably likely going to win, I have no issue betting on Volkanovski here. I will like it a lot if that bet cashes. I would love to see a Volkanovski double concurrent champ. He'd probably be the biggest thing since McGregor had done that. I don't think many other people have done that. I think only Cejudo, McGregor, and DC have done that, if I'm correct. Could be wrong about that, but double check me. I think only 3 people have ever concurrently held belts. So he would be the 4th, and I mean Volkanovski will be GOAT status. He will have a very strong case for GOAT status defeating a Dagestani if he manages to do that in Abu Dhabi. There will be a very strong argument for him being the greatest fighter of all time. Is that going to happen? Now, who knows? We've been seeing a lot of upsets in main events lately. How many main event upsets can we have in a row? You know what I'm saying? It seems relatively unlikely that it will happen, but we are going to bet on it. So that's going to be the bet. Volkanovski here. I'm going to bet money line. I don't know how he's going to get it done, but he's probably going to finish. He could win a decision, though. I don't want to see him eke out a decision over Islam and be stuck there losing money and get nothing. So we're going to probably put 0.25 or 0.5 units on Volkanovski here. Guys, we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's going to be a great fight. I wouldn't want to have too much money bet on this fight anyway because I want to enjoy it. I'm not going to particularly give a shit if I lose 0.25 units, 0.5 units on betting Volkanovski. He's one of my favorite fighters. He's one of the best fighters ever. Shit, I'll be sweat-free betting a small amount on Volkanovski. So give me Volkanovski at, hell, whatever dog line he comes in at, I'll take it. Anyway, guys, keep it locked in. We're going to come with another main card prediction here in a little bit.